Hello homemakers, I'm Melinda and I'm cooking my way through Betty Crocker's 1971 recipe card library. And today we're making hot dog cheesies. All right, hot dog cheesies are from section X, recipes children can make, and it's card number 18. These children's recipes are wild and they're so simple, they're so easy, but I think they're gonna be delicious. Particularly this hot dog cheesy, I think what could go wrong? It's basically kind of a hot dog mixed with a grilled cheese. Where you have a slice of bread, a slice of American cheese, some mustard, kind of encasing a hot dog, and then you broil it until toasty. It's gonna be pretty simple. If children can make it, I can make it. Let's get started. All right, let's take a look at the ingredients. For hot dog cheesies, we will need 8 frankfurters. We will need 8 slices of bread. We'll need some softened butter. We'll need some prepared mustard, some American cheese, and some more butter to melt and kind of baste the outside of the cheesy with. And then we'll also need some toothpicks to assemble. And that's pretty much it. So let's get started. All right, so I have some water coming up to a boil to cook the hot dogs. Well, they're pre-cooked, but we're gonna heat up the hot dogs in boiling water for a few minutes and then put them in the cheesy. But we could start by preparing the bread for the cheesy. So we start with 8 slices of bread. I got this Martin's potato bread, which I didn't know existed. Like, I knew potato rolls existed, but I didn't know they made bread. I just thought this would be a little nicer than like white bread or like Wonder Bread. Okay, so the idea is that we're gonna pinch them like this. Okay, we'll definitely be able to fit all 8 once they're pinched. I'm gonna start by spreading one side with butter, softened butter. So we're buttering the inside and the outside. We're also gonna melt some butter for the outside. I feel like Betty's children ideas are like the most chaotic, but I just like wasn't ready to brave them yet. But this is a pretty easy children's recipe. We're buttered. Now, let me wipe off my butter spoon or butter knife. Now we're going in with mustard, and this is spicy mustard. You gotta go edge to edge. We want as much flavor as possible. I guess while I'm mustarding over here, we could do a little Betty history, which isn't really Betty history. I just wanted to talk about the history of hot dogs. So I guess it's hot dog history. We've seen records of talk of sausages as early as like the 9th century BC in Homer's Odyssey. So we knew this is a food that people have been eating for a long time. It kind of, it's disputed where in Germany sausages were invented. Frankfurt is one of the more obvious options, but we do know that like hot dogs or sausages came to America by way of German immigrants. And you had a lot of German immigrants living in New York City in the 1800s, 1900s. And so there's also disputing facts about who invented the American hot dog. So some people say that it was these vendors down on the Bowery in Manhattan that were selling it out of carts. Some people say that it was invented in Coney Island, which is where we know Nathan's hot dogs originated. There's also a story that in the 1893 Chicago Exposition, they started selling hot dogs, and it was a really easy thing to sell at a big event like that because people could carry it around, and it was really cheap and easy to make. And so rumor has it that it became popular because of the German vendors at the Chicago Exposition. So how they got the name hot dog was also disputed. Like, In Germany, they referred to it as dachshunds because, like the animal, the little thin dog, these were little thin dogs. And so they often in Germany called them dachshunds. And because that translates to little dog, that might be how we got hot dog. There's also a story about how at a baseball game, a cartoonist was illustrating a vendor selling like, get your hot dogs here, and he wrote down hot dog, and that's how it started to be called hot dog. There's also a story that goes that at Yale University there is a hot dog vendor that was selling these on campus, and the boys around campus would call it a hot dog vendor because you don't really know the quality of the meat in the dog. So yeah, lots of different interpretations of who invented the hot dog, why it's called a hot dog, but we know it's popular in America today. Okay, now water's boiling, so I'm just going to drop these in. We want them to simmer for 5 minutes or so. Okay, so while the hot dogs are boiling, the next step is to top each of these with a slice of American cheese. It specifically says 1 slice processed American cheese. Ooh. No artificial preservatives or flavors? What's in here then? Okay, those have been in at least 8 minutes. Okay, we're taking them off the heat. We're taking it off of the heat. Now I guess I'm just gonna place a Frankfurter on top of each cheese slice. So I'm gonna fish it out. We wanna go diagonal. Okay. Interesting. The water from the hot dogs didn't tell me to drain them, didn't tell me what to do with the water, didn't tell me they needed to be wiped off. But the water is making contact with the cheese in a way that is not pleasurable. It is starting to melt the cheese. So then next, we are gonna fold them over and try to toothpick them closed. What if I squeeze a little bit? Toothpick? See, the first one's coming apart. Okay. Hello? These look really manhandled, but you know, if I was a kid doing this, it'd probably also be like really overhandled by the youths. Okay, fast. Okay, now we're gonna brush it with butter. Yeah, so that it gets nice and toasty. The hot dog was so wet, the cheese is so gooey, that the butter's so wet that it's a soggy little boy. I feel good about that. So I'm gonna turn the broiler on, and then we'll move over to the broiler, and I'll show what's going on over there as we pop them in. Okay, I'm putting them in the broiler. Good luck in there. Okay, we're gonna check on them. Whoa. Okay, some are burnt. Okay. We're panicking. Yeah, some are burnt. Most of them fell apart. The only ones that didn't fall apart are burnt. So easy, a cake can make it. Oh, it's so easy, a cake can make it. My hot dog cheesies are burnt. They're not very toasty, but the cheese is melted, kind of. I guess I'm taking the toothpicks out and kind of, I wonder if I at least put them in the regular oven like this, like one side could get toasty. She doesn't say how long to broil it. Oh, 2 minutes or until golden brown. You have no control. You have no control over the broiler. The broiler does what it wants. Okay, let's get these plated. Let's taste them. They're gonna taste burnt, but it's fine, I guess. All right, well, I guess it's time to taste our cheesies, even though it got a little burnt and not as toasty as I would have liked in other areas. It is melted, so let's give it a taste. I mean, it's good. It's a hot dog with melted cheese. I will say maybe I put too much butter on because it is kind of soggy and very buttery. I also barely taste the mustard. There's like a hint. You can see the mustard and the cheese are kind of congealed at the bottom. And like I'm getting mostly American cheese with like a hint of flavor from the mustard. So if I were to make them again, more mustard. Yeah, I just wish it was more toasted. It's not very toasted, it's just soggy. It's like a barely toasted hot dog bun with melted cheese that's not very good cheese. But it's a hot dog. I could see a kid liking this. Kid would eat this. Kid would eat this, kid would love it. Kid should not use the broiler. Mom should use the broiler. And mom should be aware that it's easy to burn. All right, hot dog cheesies. This was kind of a fail. I like the idea of the triangle shape, but it just completely fell apart. I'm wondering if it had something to do with my hot dogs going on too hot and too watery. Maybe I should have like drained them and like pat them with a paper towel to get the hot dog like really dry before I put it on the cheese, because it just all kind of got soggy and fell apart, and maybe there's too much butter and it got burnt before it could get toasted on all sides. So kind of a fail. I don't know if I would do this with kids because it's kind of messy and easy to burn. But the assembly was easy and fun. Yeah, so I don't know. I also just don't like the taste of American cheese, and I felt like it really overpowered the other flavors. Like I love a hot dog, I love mustard, would just have preferred not to have cheese on that. But it's a cheesy, so what can we do? I think I'd give it 2 out of 5 red spoons. Okay, back in the box. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, happy homemaking.